ChatGPT's entire fundamental prospect is to really democratize the use of AI. So why is it only generative AI, and why can't we just democratize the AI agents? So that is our inspiration. That is our ambition, rather, to democratize the way people can build AI agents. My grandfather should be able to build an AI agent for himself. My 10-year-old nephew should be able to build an AI agent for himself.
Hi, my name is Demetri Panici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the AI Agents Podcast. In this episode, we have Omkar, the Chief Strategy Officer
Hi,
of
Demetri.
Supervity
I'm doing
AI.
fantastic.
How are you
Thank
doing
you
today?
so much for having me over here on your podcast. And yeah, looking forward to our chat.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm really excited to hear more about what you are doing individually and what everyone over at Supervity is doing. So just to
Yeah.
kind of give us a baseline understanding
Mhm.
of yourself and
Yeah.
the company, tell us a little bit about you, how you got into the world of AI,
Yeah.
and what you would say Supervity does.
Sometimes I get into an imposter syndrome zone because I don't belong to the world of, AI by education, right? By education, I'm an organizational psychologist. I have studied law and I've studied economics, but now I'm managing product and strategy for an AI first company. So it was not a very natural progression for me. But before Supervity, I was an academician. I was a professor of entrepreneurship, and gradually before that, I launched a couple of tech startups, which was fairly successful. Sold them, and very interesting insight is that everything happening pre Gen AI. I thought that this is it, but once the Gen AI boom started, I think it was a no brainer to leave a cushy academic job and really challenge the frontier of what's possible with Gen AI. And that's how I came into the whole scene of AI. I still remember, a few months ago when vibe coding started getting mainstream. The tech startup which I built about 10 years ago, which took like 6 months and
Sure.
like a 20 people dev team. I could vibe code it on a lazy Sunday afternoon with some pizzas and beers and just about 3 hours, right? So it was that kind of awakening what I personally felt around about year and a half back. I joined the founding team over here at Supervity, where I'm currently managing the strategy, the product. And strategy is such a broad, abused word, right? Strategy means do everything, right? From hire people to like pitch in front of investors to also make sure that the bills are paid. Supervity, we like to identify ourselves as an AI employees company. Supervity initially started off as a pioneer in digital workers, right? Before AI employees, the word which was going around was that of digital workers. So now it has gradually evolved into digital workers being called e-workers to AI agents to now everybody's talking about, AI employees or AI teammates. So that's been the story of Supervity. It started about 6 years ago as a services company. Now we kind of services, which is more like the whole term software as a service, but it we kind of reversed it by saying that we're
Yes.
service as a software, right? So what what we're doing is we're giving a platform, but also service on top of it, right? It's not pure SaaS or PLG motion where I just can download and start using it or just sign up and start using it. The whole idea was to, give these kind of employees, digital employees, which become a part of your workforce, work alongside you. And, we help them develop it, we help them configure it. So I think in the history of the business, this has been the most amazing year so far. There are such good tailwinds right now. Every customer we're talking to, every large enterprise we're talking to, they all have their ear ups that, hey, you know what, I want an AI employee right now, Right? I want my AI employee in my accounting team, in my finance team, in my HR team. So I think it's just been a beautiful journey so far, and I just think that this is the start.
What do you think is the primary kind of areas that companies are finding that AI can help them? I guess on a practical level, like what uh, roles are you saying? Because I saw a couple on your like main
Yeah.
website. Obviously, could list that off for you. But what do you
Yeah.
think is like the most interesting one that you found?
What I was talking about is the accounts payable AI employee, right? A lot of in 2025, it just seems like daylight robbery about accountants spending so much time doing like three-way matching, four-way matching, five-way matching. Like, every time you just close your eyes and think about an accountant's office, you'll just see heaps of paper and like a lot of red lines here, there, thinking that, hey, this purchase order did not match this invoice. The contract says something else and the invoices of something else. Yeah, these processes should be automated as of yesterday, right? And of course there were a lot of attempts. RPA bots tried to do that, but again, A, they're super expensive, B, they failed royally, right? Like it's like having an elephant
A
as your
lot.
pet, right? It just looks big but no utility, and it's very difficult, like expensive to maintain. So that's been a very refreshed outlook from enterprises, what we're getting, right? Like whenever we go over there and we show our APAI employee, we just launched it last month, and they're like, yes, I want it, because unlike traditional, I still feel AI softwares are still having a lot of SaaS baggage. What we realize is, no,
You
they
mean like people are
no,
not
like,
uh,
no, from the interface perspective, right? Like, say for example, right now we are like, everything just looks so SaaS right now, and SaaS is like 2020, 2022, right? Like you have a nav bar on the left, and then you have a dashboard, and then if I'm talking about giving you an AI employee, you shouldn't click, you should converse with it. Like clicking is dead. It's all conversational, right? So this APA employee will tell you that, hey, you know what? Every morning it will send you a message saying that, oh, yesterday we had 800 invoices. We processed about 90% of them. 10% of them had these kind of problems. And I'm learning that, these vendors are always causing, these kind of duplicate payments, right? So we should either send an email to them, or we should like, have a conversation with them. This is how your accountant will talk to you, right? And that's exactly what an AI employee is supposed to do. So we're seeing a lot of traction in this accounts payable space. The other one is that of recruiter, right? Super recruiter. A very, very easy thing to do right now in the world of AI agents is
yeah.
shortlist CVs on the basis of job description, right? And people are typically putting a wrapper on top of it and pushing it out in the market. But we got to see the end-to-end job of a recruiter. Like, what the hell does a recruiter even do? He's going to source candidates. He's going to shortlist candidates. He's going to have a conversation about what time works the best for you. He's going to manage the calendars. He's going to set up a level one interview. Then he's going to, send some screening questions. Then he's going to set up a L2 interview. Then he's going to send an offer letter. He's going to make sure that, the documents are collected. Some, information is collected, it's verified. He's answering a lot of questions of the candidates before onboarding. That's what we're talking about, an end-to-end recruiter, right? So again, right now we're working with enterprises. They want to hire 2,000 people over the next 1 year, and they have like 30 recruiters to do that. And we're like, hey, you just need one super recruiter. You just need one AI employee. So these are certain use cases, Dimitri, we're seeing like fantastic traction in.
Very cool. No, I like to hear that. And speaking of really, excuse me, cool use cases and stuff, how does it actually kind of work and function? I know you're saying you're trying to remove the baggage that exists with SaaS. So, like, what are you trying to do to make it more conversational and
Yeah.
less
So
SaaS
as a
baggage
platform, right,
oriented?
we compete with some big boys in the space, right? Like from a platform perspective, We compete with the likes of NA10. We'll compete with the likes of Crew
Hmm.
AI. But if you look at NA10 or Crew AI, they're still very developer first. They are not business first, right? If you get a business person to come and ask him to create an NA10 workflow or a Crew AI workflow, that person's gonna suffer, right? That person is going to start, like, firstly decoding what's a node, how do I connect this. But the whole experience of a platform is that about, you're actually talking to AI, right? Like, one thing what I love about vibe coding is I describe what I want, and it will create a front end for me as such, right? So similarly, our entire platform is designed in a way that you talk as if you're talking to an AI coach, and you end up saying that, hey, my CVs are going to come in, this is the job description, can you shortlist those for me, and create a score and also schedule interviews. So just the way you and me are talking, imagine you're talking to like an AI coach. You give very simple instructions and the workflows get created. You can go back and you don't even have to move anything in the workflow. You just have to chat, right? We also encourage our users to use Whisper Flow. So you can just, like, literally talk to the workflow and say that, hey, this workflow is right, this workflow is wrong. So that works very well for like a lot of platform use cases. um, what I like to always describe Supervity is like, we've built a platform. We're like a kitchen. Okay, I'm a big foodie, right? We discussed that. So I always like to describe Supervity as a kitchen. We've built a very good kitchen which has AI capabilities embedded in it, right? Ground up, right? We have OCR capabilities, we have RAG capabilities, we have a bunch of integrations, we have workflow capabilities. So you come and you tell me what exactly do you want, right? Do you want to build an uh, super recruiter? Do you want to build a sales enablement coach, right? Either you build it by yourself, we'll show you in the kitchen that, this is how you build it. You literally talk over there and the entire dish, the entire AI agent gets created. If you want something very specific, we also have a menu card, right? Hey, that Omkar, I would like to order sales enablement coach. I would like to order knock agent. I would like to order a marketing specialist, or an AI community manager, right? And once I click on it, we'll be able to see it as if it's a job description of a
Yeah.
person, right? Like, and that's exactly what I know, that, hey, you know what, I gotta pay like $20,000 a year and I get an AI community manager. It will be able to do all this, right? You place an order, we will plate it for you, which means that we will configure it for you, and we'll put it in our environment, your environment, whatever, and that AI employee is ready to start working. So that's essentially a very novel way. What we've realized, that it works, it puts the customer right in the center, and not this becoming like a complicated tool which only developers can use to make AI agents. So, and that seems to be working.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's really cool. I really like the approach you're taking, and I did have another question in regards to this as well. Like, what would you say? You said you're playing against some big boys. What would some of those look like, if you're willing to name names on who you're trying to compete
Yeah.
with, so I can get yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna play the whole David and Goliath story, right? So these are the people we would hopefully end up slaying, right? So NA10, Crew AI, Lindy, right? From a platform perspective, right? Because we also have our own platform which you can just start
Mm,
using to create AI agents. So these are the platforms. Gumloop, for example. Now these are famous names, right?
Gumloop, yeah.
Especially NA10. NA10 is the big daddy of them all. They've done some fantastic work building a great community. But my only complaint with NA10 and the likes is that they're very developer first and they're not business first. We are business first. We talk in the language of the business users. We want business users to build AI agents. We don't want the business users to go to the dev team and say that, hey, can you build an AI agent for me? Right? Vibe coding is leveling the field for everybody. Why it has not reached the AI agent space?
No, that's a good question and a good point.
Yeah.
I I why do you think it has taken more time? Actually, I know vibe coding for me it's been a revelation. So what do you think is making it take more time?
No, I think it's about choosing your niche and choosing your market at the end of the day, right? I think
Hmm.
the likes of these N8s, they are overtly focused on on developers because they themselves have a developer first mindset, right? And nothing wrong with it, right? But I just think that it's the business world is always bigger than the developer world, right?
Sure.
I come from a business background. I don't come from a developer background, right? So my learning curve, no matter how excited I am to build an AI agent, uh, I don't want to go through a massive learning curve, looking at bunch of tutorials on YouTube, spending 3 4 hours just to make a simple AI agent. Why can't I just talk to the
Do
platform
that
and say that,
quickly.
hey,
Yeah.
build an agent for me? Yeah, and that's the whole. I think right now, like yesterday, for example, right? Google launched Anti Gravity, their vibe coding platform, right?
Oh, I missed that. And is it
Yeah,
powered, I'm guessing, with the new Gemini release? Yeah.
Windsurf. Yeah, it's
Oh,
powered
okay.
by Gemini 3, and there was this whole fiasco of them acquiring Windsurf or all that. So they got the CEO of Windsurf to do that. So yesterday I got super excited and I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's see whether anti-gravity has done justice to the whole vision. And unfortunately, it's still not. It's still not out there, right?
Of course not.
It is an IDE. Gemini 3 is doing a good job, I think. Lovable is counting its own days after looking at Gemini's 3 release, right? Because it's been able to build such good front ends. Now, my question is, why can't we bring that experience to the AI agents world, right? Like even if we look at ChatGPT's OpenAI kit, OpenAI agent kit, right?
Yeah, they
It,
built this. We recovered this a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
yeah, it's complicated. It is
It is actually
complicated,
pretty complicated.
right? So ChatGPT's entire fundamental prospect is to, really democratize the use of AI. So why is it only generative AI, and why can't we just democratize the AI agents? So that is our inspiration. That is our ambition, rather, to democratize the way people can build AI agents. My grandfather should be able to build an AI agent for himself. My 10-year-old nephew should be able to build an AI agent for himself. Right. So
Or your nephew
that
might be
is
tech savvy, though. To be fair, your nephew might be tech savvy. That's something I've
yeah.
definitely learned.
Yeah, I hope so, right? I hope so. Hmm.
Well, I do have to say that is an admirable way to go about it, and I actually agree with you. I think there's a lot of problems right now in the world of AI, simply because of the fact that the accessibility level I don't think has actually been reached as nearly highly as it should be. Like and a big issue that I have, right, is not due to my lack of competency or lack of interest. I am surrounded by other team members who are really interested and really want to work on it. But the problem is there is actually, in order to functionally do and make good agents that can get work done, you actually do need like a very high level of competency right now, I think, in what you're trying to achieve and how to put them together. So you're essentially saying your goal is to try to make it as easy as possible for the most amount of people to make full-time work doable through AI agents, and building it through people who aren't necessarily at a high level of competency for creating such things. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely, right? All my enterprise customers as well, right? Right now we are building for them, right? We also have a lot of partners, right? Like PwC, Accenture, HPE, Deloitte. These are all our partners, right? We train them on our platform, and they build AI agent solutions on our platform, and then they sell it, right? Like how do you have N8 and agencies or Crew AI agencies which know how to build agents and automations on N8N, and then they will go and then they will sell it further to businesses, right? So we also have the same kind of partners who build on our platform, but they sell to enterprises, right? Uh, I don't agree with it completely right now, because as I said, right, we just have to simplify it. It just should be as simple as talking to a super coworker, right? Like everybody should have a super coworker who understands what you're speaking, who understands the context of your business, who has a long-term memory, so that AI agents right now, unfortunately, all of them have temporal memory, have short-term memory, right? If I switch an agent to another agent, it is not being able to carry that amount of memory into a new one, right? The context goes missing. You have to build it from scratch, right? but I want the world to start visualizing that, hey, this is an AI employee which is residing on my screen. It knows exactly what my expectations are from them. It exactly knows what are my KPIs. It exactly knows, how I operate, and it exactly knows what tools I use, and it's just waiting for commands. And I give a command, and it does it. Right. So
Yeah, no,
I think
that's
that's
fair.
the vision. Yeah.
That's the vision. Okay, so I mean, that is a very good vision. It's very interesting though. Like, what do you think some of the biggest with that? What do you think some of the biggest misconceptions about what AI agents tools can do right now are that people come to you when they are, asking you about your product and wanting to become a customer?
Yeah. No. Great question. Right. So, uh, what is happening is, agent orchestration, right?
Mm,
Multi-agentic systems or agent orchestration. That is uh a, a de facto demand, right, or a de facto standard
sure.
expectation from any AI agents company. And let's simplify it a little bit more, right? What does it mean? It means that, the orchestrator has the power to call any kind of an AI agent based on the task what it has received, right? So what what we have seen a lot of questions being asked is that, do you support or this multi-agentic systems, or have you built an orchestrator layer on top of all your AI agents, an orchestrator layer where I can interact with all the other operators. Now here's the funny part, right? Operator agents, and this is our nomenclature, and I would like to evangelize that right now. Operator agents are your workflows, right? Like essentially AI agents which end up doing a particular single point tasks. Now, orchestrator agents are like the manager of the operator agents. So, whenever you give a complex task, you don't give it to an operator agent, but you give it to the manager, right? Like, let's say
Mm.
I work for you and you say that, hey, you know what, Omkar, we got to build this. And I know my team, let's say I have 10 people in the team. I will say that, hey, you have to work on this, you have to work on this, you have to work on this, and all of you collaborate and give me this output. The similar kind of relationship is there between an orchestrator agent and operator agent. Now, building that is complex, right? Building that is no child's play. Um, but also at the same time, we have been able to build that out. I think shout out to Crew AI, again a great competitor. They've been able to hack out a very good
Oh, I've seen them.
multi-agentic
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is the common, misconceptions what they have is they want to see an orchestrator agent. Now I can't show you an orchestrator agent. It is a response to a command what you give, right? You will be able to see operator agents being stitched together in order to give you an output. So that's a little bit of a misconception which is there in a lot of enterprises organization. The way we solve it, and this is very like Supervity unique approach, is that we have built a command center, an AI command center. An AI command center is where all the operator agents and orchestrator agents reside. Like, how do you have a command center? You just end up having an AI command center for a particular AI employee, let's say HR command center. And then over there, I will see all the operator agents which are working, and I can just talk to them. So the command center becomes the interface. So this approach is very unique. I think we will set an industry standard in the world of AI agents when we are talking about that you need a command center, you need orchestrator agents, and you need operator agents for a proper agentic system to start working within your organization.
Yeah. No, I think orchestration is going to be really key moving forward. Have you heard of tools like Relevance AI?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I know
Yeah.
relevancy. I like that 16-bit design
Yeah,
language.
I
It's
think
pretty
it was a
cool.
very smart. I think it was a very smart choice. Everyone kind of like.
Uh,
I feel like there was a funny level of nostalgia there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
Good.
interesting. Yeah, it was good. But I use that tool from for the last few months, and it's been great for orchestration. I mean, I think it's been really helpful. Like we have an email management system where I'm getting emails, but it's not just a matter of like creating responses that are tailored
Mm,
to generally what I'd get in my inbox. It's like orchestrating it to a specific agent about a specific topic and having it create answers. So, that's really useful in that sense. My question to you would be, you guys are kind of in this position where it seems like you get this orchestration down, you get the actual work down. You're doing a couple different things. You're at a low level, removing some full-time kind of work with more associate and or the deterministic type roles. And then it also feels like from
Mhm.
a managerial standpoint, you're helping delegate work. So where do you think this is going to kind of sit in the market moving forward when it comes to like job growth and job change? Like, how do you think, tools like yourself, which I think are really impactful, are going to impact businesses and jobs at large?
Yeah, no, I think it's a tricky question, to be honest, Dimitri, because when we're talking about automating work, we're also about talking about automating full-time employment, right?
Roles, yeah.
Uh, right now, I think Amazon really put a big knife on their full-time employees. I think last week, here in
Really?
India, TCS, which is one of the largest Indian IT companies, they slashed, I think, 20,000 odd jobs. And and again, the irony is that these are profitable organizations. They're not doing it for cost cutting, right? They're just trying to cut off fat, right? Like it's come to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
level.
yeah.
Because I like to call repetitive work in your organization like fat. Like if you lose it, you're going to run faster. And I
That's
think
a
that's
good point.
that's that's essentially the way I think a lot of organizations are looking at it, right? um we are at a very important point in our company as well. Like fundamentally, we work with a lot of governments, right? Like in the US, by the way, one of our amazing customer is government of West Virginia, right? We work very closely with
Hmm.
them
Okay.
in automating a lot of work. So what we are looking at, as responsible AI developers, AI agent creators, AI employee creators, is that the jobs what we're gonna, I wouldn't say eat up, but the jobs what we're gonna, accelerate, the people are gonna get repurposed. That's for sure, right? Because every enterprise what we are talking to, they just want to know about that. Where can we repurpose the full time employees, as now their work is being automated. And on a borderline philosophical thing, Dimitri, I just sometimes wonder who the hell wants to get up in the morning, drive in traffic, reach an office, and do like boring, redundant stuff so that they can pay bills
Yeah,
at the end of the month,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think it's a very you know unfulfilling way of living a life, right? So from a very philosophical standpoint, this actually would make people reflect that, hey, you know what, human mind, human brain is never designed for repetitive work. This is just a phase where we realize that work needs to be repetitive and there has to be a human sitting behind a machine to do repetitive work. I think uh, I think that era is ending. That era has ended rather. And a new era has begun where human, like we like to say, not human in the loop, but human in the command, right? So the big difference about human in the loop is it's more on the information level, right? Like say, for example, an AI agent is doing something and human in the loop is just informing the human that, hey, these are certain things, what I'm planning to do. But the moment we're talking about human in command, the way we build AI employees, I think it's a good approach where the control of the AI employee, and I'm using AI agents and AI
Sure.
employee interchangeably right now, still lies with the human. So they can take more work still at the same capacity. So our entire we work with companies which are growing. We don't like to work with companies which are reducing their workforce. We like to work with companies, enterprises which are growing and they have to hire more. But we just tell them that, hey, why do you have to hire more people? You can just have it given to an AI employee. I kid you not, Dimitri. There's this really interesting. I was having a conversation with the CFO of a very large real estate company, and we were talking about the classic ROI. That what is the ROI Supervity is going to give? And what we concluded is that in the next 3 months, we will make sure you don't hire anybody new. right?
That's a pretty
We
incredible
will,
statement, by the way.
all right, we'll make do with your current staff. We will empower your current staff. Every current staff will have an AI agent, and you don't have to hire more people. Your business is going to grow. The number of people are going to remain the same. I really like this one metric, which is ARPE, average revenue per employee, right? We want to make sure the revenues of organizations grow, whereas their employee cost, their employee count remains the same, right? So that employees can become richer. Everybody's talking right now about like a 10 people $1 billion company, 50 people $1 billion company. I think enterprises also have to enter that party.
Enterprises do have to enter that party. I think that's a very, very astute and good point. There's no, I totally agree with you on a lot of these fronts, man. Like it's very hard for me to kind of square away two different things. One, I think, squaring away the fact that there will be a lack of need for new hires versus like, okay, obviously you have the big companies cut people. But practically, I totally agree with you. I don't think that there is a single person who's like, all right, I'm excited to log in and copy and paste. Like no
Yeah,
one's saying that. This is nonsense. No
yeah,
one's
yeah,
saying, no one wants to be limited to, and this is actually kind of an interesting stat. I remember hearing something along the lines of people don't quit jobs because they're overworked, like, or overwhelmed as much as they feel like they have no meaning. Like that's actually
yeah,
one of the more, and obviously in the West and like the US, like that says a level of like, well, we do have a level of comfort that we're like, man, what really bothers me is more, I'm not really doing anything. Like practically speaking, from a value additive standpoint, it's things people know when they're not value adding, they're just maintaining requirements that exist in order to keep a function going. And I
yeah,
think when that occurs in someone's own head, they're not happy with it. There's hard data on this. I got to find it again so I could use it more in interviews. But people will leave jobs more so because they do not feel like they're learning, rather than they feel like they're being underpaid or overworked. It's an interesting dilemma, and I mean, I kind of sit in a position where I think this will cause the world to have more hyper focused businesses. Like a bunch of people will get really good at, like a 10-person company will be able to, like you said, grow and be huge, but maybe they're focused on one thing and being really good at one thing. And we've never been able to go insanely deep on anything, it feels like, because of all of the administrative nonsense that accompanies every job and every
yeah,
company.
yeah. And it's just about, the definition. Like when we say that, oh, that company is a big company, what do we think about? Oh, it employs like so many people, right? It employs 20,000 people, 10,000 people, 15,000 people. Now that definition of what makes a company big is going to change drastically. And the second point is, like as you said, that unfulfillingness of a job, it's definitely going to disappear, right? Like you will have hyper focused young folks, AI native folks, who are solving some real problems, right? And there are enough problems to solve in the world to get everybody employed, right? I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. What is your favorite part of working where you're working, and the most exciting thing that you guys are working on that you are excited to either release soon or that you have recently released?
Yeah, no, I really like sitting customer facing and understanding their real problems. And what I like is the glimmer of hope, what they understand when we say that, hey, you know what, we can take care of that, like AI agent can take care of that. And they're pleasantly surprised. And because I'm sure that most of them are listening to the AI agents podcast, but for the folks who are not, it comes as a pleasant surprise that, oh really, your AI agent can do that. And then it just feels like magic. So every time it's in a customer meeting, you feel like you're a magician pulling off a trick, and entertaining a well invested audience. So I really love that part of my job. So Supervity, I think three things are coming up, where we're incredibly excited about. Number one, our platform is, we're launching the third version, V3 of our platform. I think that the world has never seen anything like like a real conversational AI agent creator, right? I think it's gonna take the world by a storm. Full conviction towards that. So the new thing what we're launching, 1st of January, actually 2nd of Jan, because we'll all be hungover on 1st of Jan. The 2nd of January we're launching is our
That
V3
was
AI
funny.
agent AI agent platform. We're calling it the Supernova, Supernova by Supervity. And and the two other things what I'm excited right now is we've just launched our EP AI employee, accounts payable AI employee.
Okay.
And the other thing what we're just launching on 1st of December is our super recruiter, which is taking care of, an AI employee, which will take care of everything from onboarding to from sourcing to onboarding of any employees.
Nice. That's very cool. That was a good joke, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was a joke. You probably will be hungover on January
Yeah.
2nd. That's fair enough. Okay. Well, cool. I did have a couple more short questions. I know we're
Mhm.
kind of getting close to time. Do you have a few more minutes?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay, cool. What would you say is, your favorite personal tool that you use that is for AI? Could be in your job, could be just
Mhm.
for like day to day, like sanity. Like, what are you using at work that you're like, yeah, I love doing this. Like, this is my favorite. For me, as an example, I love like meeting recording tools that then I send to AI, the transcripts to agents, and then it saves time on the
Yeah.
post call stuff. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. So same over here, right? Like one of the three tools what I really like, right? And shout out to those founders. Love them. Well, actually, four of them. Number one is granola. I love granola. I live on granola, right? It is the same one which is for meeting recorder. Teams has become such a snitch that they're not allowing all these note takers like Otter or Fireflies to enter the meetings, and so I just have my granola on all the time, and it listens to the audio input output and does a fantastic job of transcribing. So, Granola is amazing. And if the founders of Granola listen to this podcast, please come out with an Outlook integration as well. I especially made a Gmail work ID so that I could use Granola. So I really like Granola. I also like Whisper Flow. I am a big fan of vibe coding, but now it's just becoming like zero type. So all I do is that, I have a big screen and I just have one keyboard. And I just keep on like pressing the command sentence. I'm just speaking about it, and Whisper Flow is giving some really good inputs to my cursor, so can't live without Whisper Flow. One thing what I also really like, Indian startup, Cluso, right? Amazing young
Okay.
kids. They are fantastic when it comes to creating product demo videos, right? It's pretty cool. All I have to do is, in natural language, go through my product demo, that click here, this will do this, click here, and then they'll just create like studio level output. Amazing, right? So Cluso, Granola, Whisper Flow, and of course I use Supervity. Like that's de facto.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. All right. Well, my personal last question to you would just be, where can everyone go to check you guys out?
Sorry, can
Well,
you
my
repeat
last
that?
question would be, where can everyone go to check you guys out?
Oh, so supervity.ai, supervity.ai. A lot of people confuse it, and in retrospect, I realized it. People think when I say supervity, they think that, supervitty, but it's not that. It is supervity.ai. We just launched our new Thanksgiving version of our website. So there is Tim the Turkey on our website, and we're offering free gifts to everybody who visits our website. It can be a subscription, it can be a tarot card reading. It's a bunch of surprises. So there is Tim the Turkey waiting with the Thanksgiving surprise on our website, supervity.ai.
Sounds awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Omkar. Everyone, make sure to please go to supervity.ai. That's supervity.ai. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll listen to you.
Thank you so
And
much,
we'll see you in the
Dimitri.
next one. What'd you say?
Yes. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much for
of
hosting me and
course.
those brilliant questions. Loved it.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll see you in the next one.